Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is the next day after the Wakefield Wednesday, race 3, but it was really race 1. So I'm driving to work right now. I figured, hey, I'll just try and do a shorter recap. The one that I was doing yesterday was long as hell, so I'm going to try and sum it up for y'all. So first time out at Wakefield during the day and the dry. First time out there was actually with MTB in the snow. Obviously it was daytime, but you can't tell what the heck is going on out there. And then the other time that I was out there was at nighttime with Justin, and again with lights you can't really tell what the hell is out there. I'm just pedaling. So this time around it is at the recreational center area. So when you're pulling in, there's parking is kind of fierce. People are just parking on the side all over the darn place. Just mountain bikers, man. You just find a spot and then you're just parking there for the most part. From there, Justin was already there, so he gave me a heads up. He got there super early because he's fairly close. He ended up running inside the beginners. I ran in masters of the 2-lap group. I placed the 9th out of 30th in my group, and what was it, 13th out of 60. And then Justin placed fifth. It says 6th, but it's really 5th because there was a timing issue with one of the guys. But he essentially just got 5th in the beginner class, which big ups to him because that's a feat right there. I mean, he only started riding back up again at the start of the year. He's on a big bike with coils. And the only thing that kind of makes it streamline is really the ground control tires that he's got on there. So yeah, that just shows, again, like I did last year, that the Ripmo is a great all-around platform. It's heavy, however the DW Link just makes it very efficient, and then it being a big bike can just plow through stuff. In contrast with the Epic Evo, it's more efficient. It's damn near 10 pounds lighter, especially in comparison to his. And yeah, I mean, it just really moves. One thing that I'm finding out that I'm lacking versus previous years, however, is that I now am not as strong as I was last year. But it is what it is. Still trying to do my thing. It's just a sustain that's really the biggest part for me right now, sustaining the high pressure and load. So we'll get to that as the race goes on. So I got there. I'm doing my usual warm-up, but I don't really know where the start is. So by the time I got down to the start, they wouldn't let me because it's at the bottom of the hill. And so I had to kind of cut through, didn't really know where I was going. Got there, literally, they were setting off the first group. So got there just in the nick of time, got into my place, and the first thing is like this big-ass gravel climb. Very similar to that of the Rails to River, but this one is shorter, of course, or it feels kind of shorter, but it's about the same, but it's because we're going slower speeds. So that one I just got to pump through. I ended up going past quite a bit of people. Again, it's like 30 people in our group. So I got up to mid spot throughout that climb and just kind of sat there because I didn't know the course. There's no real place to pass once you really get past that area. So next time it's just a note for myself and others, hey, just go ahead and pump it out, try to get to the top, and then there's a nice little sprint before you hit the berms. Once you hit the berms, there really isn't any spots to pass until the next sprint area, which is quite a ways in. So got stuck behind some people, was able to catch my breath and kind of get a nice little pace, but I was sitting a little bit behind. I did not bring my GoPro. I actually just forgot it at home, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to get any footage, which I upset about because the day was beautiful. It was just sunny. Temperatures were great. I mean, everything about the day was pretty darn awesome, to tell you the truth, weather-wise, conditions-wise. The course was dry, contrast to the first 2 races where they got rained out. So this one was actually pretty darn cool to even have the race and in conditions, and so numbers were super high. So following them for a while, didn't know really where to pass because there wasn't any spots. They were good sprinters, but following the flow through the single track, there were areas where they were just basically just grabbing the brakes where I felt you didn't need to, or where I would be able to flow through a little bit better. So got held up with them. It was a pack of 3, or actually it was 5 of us, me being in 4 and another guy right behind me. So us 5 were just kind of doing what we got to do to get through, but you can see the gap between us and the next group just widening as we went through any of the tech sections or any of the flow sections, which was a little bit disheartening. And then when you get to a sprint area, I can't sprint as fast as those guys. So that was always the catch. It's like, okay, I can sprint, but I know I can't sustain to pass them unless I really burn a candle. And then next time I probably may just do that, to tell you the truth, just to try and get up to the front. But after the sprints, you got hill climbs. So it's like, okay, you sprint, you burn that candle, you pass them, but now you got to sustain this darn hill. So that's what I got to figure out. But anyway, the guy behind me ended up passing me because I left too much of a gap between me and the person in front, because they were brake checking every now and then. So we're out at the power lines. You'll see a picture of that in the beginning. The power lines area, you kind of go through. There's ups, downs, there's berms, there's some tech up there as far as with the rocks. So you got a bunch of different features out there, which is pretty darn awesome. And you get a nice mix. Wakefield is actually kind of a sleeper because a lot of it is flat, and then you have these gradual little uphills, but when you're really trying to pump it, you realize, okay, yeah, these uphills sustain actually for a little bit, although the elevation isn't that high. Just trying to keep that speed up. It's kind of like you're trying to sprint at a 5-degree incline. It seems like it's not a lot, but when you say, hey, I'm going to sprint for a minute versus just 15 seconds, then it gets a little taxing. From there, people started just falling off, man, like literally. We got into on the second half of the race, and then it gets a little tricky, technical with some of the turns and routes and everything right there. So people were just literally falling down on the side. Some we couldn't pass because both 2 people fell down, and so we're able to move up in that regards. But again, not too many places that you can really pass. My time on Strava was pretty decent. Ended up with like 18 and some change in the first lap from what it showed, and then 17, just under 18 minutes to finish up the second lap. So I did feel I was stronger on the second lap, primarily because it was fast. I had clean air, more clean air. I can actually ride my ride for the most part, but I did start to get a little tired and lax in the last third of the ride. So it is what it is, right? So anyway, from there, try to finish out strong. Saw one guy, he ended up passing me on one of the faster sections, hill climb sections, and then from there I tried to keep up with him, but I didn't have the sustain. He was really good, and especially on anything that had to sustain, he was just rolling, man. He was rolling. I want to say that it was an older guy, unless it was one of the guys that was in my group that I ended up passing at some point. But no, overall, DCXC is, I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. Since I placed 9th, and looking at the time, theoretically, if I was to burn that candle in the beginning and then sustain, I think I can be in that middle top pack. Like the next grouping was basically 8 to 3. Like all of those guys was within 1 minute of each other. So I think if I can gain 30 seconds, or at least 1 minute and then 30 seconds respectively, then, or even 30 seconds will get me in that peloton to at least try and have a chase with those guys at some point. So yeah, that's going to be the goal next time. So fun times, DCXC. Got a shirt, got a little koozie that's flexible, and got a nice little travel cup. So, and it even has a little carabiner on it, which is pretty interesting. So no, the event was nice. There's not a ton of room because everything is on the fire road, but you get used to that, and it's not really a big deal. aside from that, no complaints. Just next time I'll have the camera so that way I can actually show you, okay, this is where you kind of start when you're pulling in, the starting area, and so forth. And it was a very interesting start because you never get to that start area again other than the start. So it was very interesting, and a lot of places are adopting that because you start off with that hill climb or that fire road area, and then the racing line does not have to get situated there. So you can actually have two groups essentially racing at the same time, because you can have, in our case, two lappers, but while the two lappers are going on or just finishing up, you can then start the next group. So because they're not in the way. So it's pretty cool in that front. My second time kind of seeing something like that, and it works. So it is what it is. But yeah, DCXC, come on out if you can. Traffic is fierce coming down here, lower than Tyson's Corner. I forgot the darn city where it's at, but yeah, traffic is fierce coming down here, so I just go after work. But yeah, that's it. I felt good. You can't drink anything unless you have a hydration pack. Plus the race is like 40 minutes, so just suck it up. In the sprint areas are some of the areas where you can drink, but you're sprinting, so you're going to be breathing hard. You can't really reach down for anything. And then there's one other spot when you're doing your lap, but even then people are trying to recruit before you go into the tree line, so that's actually a time to pass. And I ended up doing that, getting across in front of somebody so that way I can chase the next group. And then I did 2 more passes from there, from the tree line over to the next berm area. So 3 passes, 2 to 3 passes. So altogether it was worth it. I'd rather have done that than drink, quite honestly. And with the race totaling 37 and some change, 38 minutes, it's like, yeah, just chug up in the beginning, drop everything, and then probably like try to see about putting a gummy on your bar on your bike, so that way you can just grab and go as you need. So yeah, man, check it out. I will catch you guys on the next one. Great job, Justin. Christian got first in beginners. He was signed up in the wrong class. I feel as though he was sandbagging it or ended up hitting the traffic, but our times weren't that far off, which to me just says that, yeah, he was just kind of hanging out, because I know he's faster than me. It's also shown that from Rails to River, where he got me by like 8 minutes, and here he should have at least got me by 3 theoretically, and he only got me by 1. So he must have hit some traffic. So it is what it is. But I will catch you guys on the next one. And yep, going to the bike park. You can see the big bike in the background, kind of right here. So going to the bike park Snowshoe after work. So it should be a good time with the fellas. Blackout over at Snowshoe with minority mountain bikers. Check them out. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.